Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading for March 16th to the 22nd. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You want to jump right in? Let's jump right in. Capricorn, as I said in your March monthly forecast, there's going to be a strong concentration of planets in this small pie slice of the sky. And you will have the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and the Moon in very spiritual, compassionate Pisces, and then another stellium in fiery Aries. So, and that includes, by the way, the Sun, Venus, Neptune, your ruler Saturn, the Moon, and stellium means, three or more planets. But think about the past, since the lunar eclipse that was on March 3rd. Think about how these energies have been influencing you, okay? And so remember, the concentration here is on communication for you. Communication, writing, family is a big thing for you right now too. Especially like siblings, distant relatives. You may be traveling, you may be planning some short trips, or you actually might be taking them right now. And then I would not be surprised if you have a lot of emphasis on maybe moving, maybe thinking about buying a place. Real estate matters. Yeah, you might be working with a realtor. So there's so much happening for you that will be changing, all right? And this week you're going to feel this enormous shift. In fact, you will probably feel a little restless. Okay, like ready to conquer as a spiritual warrior. And the second half of March is a lot more active than the first half. Not only will all the planets be direct, as you can see, Mercury is going direct, but they're all leaving Pisces. Remember, Pisces represents the end. Yeah. And they're moving into Aries, meaning, you're going to feel fired up with that Aries energy. A lot of just ambition is what you will feel. Okay, Aries energy is very like all or nothing for your goals, your dreams, and of course your destiny, which you see on Tuesday, March 17th. Mercury will conjunct the North Node in Pisces at 8 degrees again. So happy St. Patrick's Day. And remember, you had Mercury conjunct Mars from over the weekend. So you probably had some big conversations, or maybe even email exchanges as you move into this week. Remember, Mercury is a planet of communication and the mind, writing, speaking, negotiating, selling goods. Mercury, the mercantile, merchant, as well as travel and siblings, like I said earlier. Huge emphasis on family, but it's very likely a lot of these discussions are on moving the needle forward, or maybe launching something new, maybe launching a business, maybe something online. Pisces rules your third house, and that is Mercury's home, which is why you will really feel this. A lot of y'all are becoming like thought leaders as well. But here it is, right? Mercury with the North Node again. And so what does that mean? They're having a conversation about you. They're talking about your mission statement, your purpose, your destiny. But here's the thing, Capricorn, you might already know what they're discussing because Mercury met with the North Node of Fate at 8 degrees on February 12th. So in your March forecast, I told you something around February 12th is going to resurface around this time now. And it might come as a resolution, revelation, maybe something that needs a little bit more review as well, but it is very likely you might receive news. You might make a big announcement yourself. There could be a fated conversation or even dream, because we're in Pisces energy, right? So pay attention to your dreams. They could be giving you messages. And because Mercury's still retrograde, remember, events, circumstances, even people from your past resurface. So if you have been avoiding a conversation or avoiding a person, it might resurface around this time again. Okay. But it works in so many different ways because your third house is so lit. It could be that maybe, let's say, I don't know, you're single, yeah, and you were on Tinder and there was someone that you liked and you matched and you wrote, "Hey, what's up? Well, how's it going?" Whatever, Capricorn say, and you didn't hear anything back. You might get that message today. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was on, a trip in the Sahara. I didn't have internet." So you never know. So just be present this day. Could even be like the smallest DM. And then the same thing for it may be something with your home environment. Now Wednesday, and it's really good timing, by the way, because there will be a little bit more clarity for Wednesday, March 18th, where you have the new moon in Pisces, and that's at 28 degrees. One of my favorite new moons of the year. One of the best new. It's a Jupiter ruled new moon. Like this is really, really great. And remember, Pisces is the end. And this is a new moon. So this is the beginning of the end. This is a new storyline for you, especially your third house. And I would not be surprised if there is something that you might make some sort of verbal agreement. You might think about signing something around this time, but it does look like there might be some other people involved. I wouldn't be surprised if you work on like a writing project, and again, maybe something with like thought leadership. Maybe you are doing something in terms of maybe you're starting a podcast. Either way, just remember there's so much activity in that third house, and at baseline, new way of seeing something, like processing things. Remember, Mercury is the mind. Yeah, so it could be a very cerebral time for you. Even with this new moon, both Pisces and the moon represent the subconscious, which governs intuition, emotions, creativity, learned behavior. So Pisces energy lets you dream big. It's up to you to make that real. And in order to make that real, you got to take things from the subconscious into the conscious, and then, speak what you want into the ether. Make it real, okay? So just doing little things like this, I mean, that reprograms your mind, especially with affirmations, repetition, inspired actions that you take. And none of that will work if you don't believe, right? So you have to have this belief, this self-belief, and this is the perfect new moon to create that new reality that you deserve. Because not only is it just such a great new moon, the sun will sextile Uranus. So this is an amazing aspect. It only happens a couple times a year, but this is going to be like the last of our lifetime. Remember, Uranus will be moving into Gemini next month. And so this is the last time we'll have the sun in Pisces sextile Uranus and Taurus. This aspect is pretty much baked in to this new moon. And the sun, obviously, your life force, it's optimism, it's your identity. And it's connecting harmoniously with Uranus, the planet of surprises and innovation and liberation, freedom, breakthroughs, awakenings. So you could feel really stimulated. I mean, there's something here that may really inspire you about your path forward. And remember, Taurus rules your fifth house. That's the house of pleasure and joy and love, true love and romance, family, children, recreations, hobbies, procreation. Some of y'all may be having babies. Congratulations. And so this is definitely a really, really great new moon for you. The other thing is that it's just the fact that your third house, your fourth house, your fifth house, I mean, there's just so much buzz around that with this new moon. Family energy is really, really strong, or just within your domestic realm. And I've already lost my voice, so I hope that you're good. I hope you can still hear me. But The other thing that I was going to say about this new moon for you, there could be some money matters involved. There could be some finances. There could be something, just again, just activity around finances, your salary. When you've got Mercury in the North Node and the Sun in the mix, and again, remember, this is optimism, this is confidence, this is hope. There is something just truly fated about this new moon. And Uranus, remember, brings the unpredictable. So there could be some delivery here, or there could be something that lands. There could be something that you're, manifesting that could come in ways you'd never expect. And it might be you. You might be doing something to shake things up. Remember, that's what Uranus wants you to do. Uranus wants you to think outside the box while being your authentic self. So really, really set intentions. Put wheels in motion and dream big and trust the process. This is a really great new moon for you. There really also may be something here. Again, I would not be surprised if there's something like along the dotted line. You're just like, yes, let's do this. Venus will square Jupiter as well at 15 degrees. This is the only square we have this month, and it's the two benefics. And so there really, really may be something here with your significant other, your partner. It's not a bad aspect. All it's doing is asking you to find the right amount of what brings you pleasure. Yeah. And if you're not here for love, that's fine. It really can be like a business partner, something with work, your company. Definitely home and family is still a big highlight for you. And so keep that in mind. You don't want to overdo things, overextend yourself, overindulge, right? We want to just have the right balance. And then lastly, this new moon has a minor grand trine. Yeah, we've got Uranus in Taurus. We have Juno in your sign and the new moon in Pisces at the apex. So there's your, pyramid. Yeah. And so Juno in your sign, there's a lot that can happen here. And remember, Juno is Jupiter's wife, and she represents the balance and harmony and, equality in partnerships and love, marriage, and, relationships, personal relationships, business relationships, agreements and contracts. So there may be something here for you. Okay. And we'll talk about it in the second spread, the bonus spread, because, where we talk about the asteroids like Juno and lunations. But if you are a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising sign or your moon, or for your, boss or your, husband, Jack, then better mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And I'm throwing in Cancer and Scorpio to complete all the water signs too. Will feel this new moon the most. And if you know your natal chart, if you have planets 25 to 29 degrees in any of the mutable signs, the first four signs, well, those planets will be aspected. Like you're really going to feel this new moon. Okay. And let's see. Friday is when March 20th. Oh, that's a loaded day. Remember, strong cluster of aspects around this time. Now, as I miss the spout of my coconut water, Mercury does go direct this day. And March 20th is honestly, it is like a little bit of a reset. And it is when you start feeling that new era really coming through, really officiating. Now, Mercury finally no longer retrograde, again, meaning all the planets are direct at this point until May. And then you have the sun moving into Aries, where he's exalted, meaning Aries, as the sun does his best in Aries out of all the signs. And in the monthly forecast, I said, this is the real new year. And it is. I mean, come on, the equinox. So happy spring. Happy fall if you're in the southern hemisphere. The equinox is, where night and day are perfectly balanced. celebrated for thousands and thousands of years by, the ancient cultures, many that saw it as the balance between opposites like light and dark and, life and death and so on and so forth. The great Sphinx faces due east directly into the rising equinox sun, and even Stonehenge, other megalithic sites, calibrated equinox alignments. So the equinox, the real new year, was so significant. It was so meaningful because it does represent this cosmic balance and new cycles and a new timeline for one that this time around we've never experienced, with the sun, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, Chiron, Eris, and the moon all in Aries this day. That's your fourth house of home and family. All right, your domestic sector. So you're really going to start feeling shifts around here. And everything that you released, everything that you reevaluated or experienced since the lunar eclipse on March 3rd brought you to this moment. Remember, this is the 0 degree Aries point and the equinox, the beginning of all beginnings. Everything comes to life around this time, including you, because the equinox is renewal. There's this rise of energy, and it's Aries energy. You are going to feel this rush, this fire in your belly. There's so much that you're going to want to do and accomplish with a lot more confidence, a lot more, perspective as well, especially with Mercury direct, and especially through the weekend. I mean, you have this enormous concentration of planets saying, I got you, okay? And all this Aries energy that you're just moving into right now is go big or go home, okay? You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Remember, Aries is the I am of the zodiac, and this matters because everything is neutral. That's why polarities exist. So I am gives you the power to choose your perception of reality or how you face challenges, speaking and believing any affirmations you choose for yourself. I am fearless. I am courageous. This is all about you, Capricorn, and it is go time. No breaks. April's a big month, okay? And so this is a great time to just be fully present and ready to initiate. And again, yes, a lot of emphasis on home, family, significant other, parents, grandparents, children, your roots, your foundations, and again, yes, real estate. But Saturn, that is in Aries, Saturn is your ruler. So you're really going to feel this energy. And there may be some things that you really strongly want in career as well. But either way, for the next 4 weeks, don't live a little, live a lot. Yeah, this is all about moving forward and embracing that energetic, entrepreneurial, pioneering spirit that Aries is known for. All right? Because life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you know what happens. All right? Now, Saturday, March 21st, we have Mars in Pisces trine Jupiter in Cancer of 15 degrees. I love this for you. This, first of all, is one of the best days of the year. One of the best aspects, one of my personal favorite aspects when you have Mars trine Jupiter. And this time around, Mars is in Jupiter's sign. So there's a nice reception here. And it is happening just days after the new moon. And so the new moon says, make a wish, right? Mars trine Jupiter says, oh, we'll make that wish happen. So again, a lot of great divine timing with this week. Mars gives you drive, determination, and you have this exalted Jupiter, Jove, who helps expand and brings you luck, abundance, wisdom, profit, all of that. Again, there's something here that's very likely like of signing something, agreeing to something, doing something brand new. Jupiter in Cancer rules your seventh house, and again, remember that's your commitments. It is love. It is marriage. It is business partners or personal relationships, um, and contracts. So I mean, like, I would not be surprised if there's something that involves a real estate, work, family, home, especially something new. Now, Jupiter has not been in Cancer since 2014. So we haven't had this in 12 years. You will strongly feel supported. Okay. So be very open to opportunity because what you seek is seeking you, right? And it will be the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and I am throwing in the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and you that feels this aspect the most. If you have any planets 12 to 18 degrees in any of the water signs in your chart, you're really going to feel this. One last thing is that it's not on the whiteboard. I was going to talk about next week, but I really want you to, take advantage of what's happening here on Sunday, March 22nd. We will have the Sun conjunct Neptune and 2 degrees in Aries. So this is the first time since 1861, meaning nobody has experienced this aspect in Aries, okay? Unless you're a vampire or a zombie. Anyway, this is just so transcendent, and this is something, it's peak cinema, as the kids say, but you will feel this days before. You're going to feel it all over the weekend. This is, the sun amplifying the energies of Neptune, which is inspiration. It is creativity. It's spirituality. It's, the arts. It's soulful, and it's all about your vision as a visionary. Remember, Neptune is visionary, it's visual, visualize. Visualization activates new neural pathways in your brain. This is literal neuroscience. That's why I always suggest vision boards. They work. They actually work. So this would be a great weekend to maybe, put one together. You will likely get some downloads around this time, maybe even have like these creative breakthroughs. There may be some family gatherings again around this time, with so much emphasis in your fourth house. Remember, Neptune also rules music, and sound is vibration, it's healing. So play music that inspires you. This is great for artists too. I would not be surprised, with Venus here still. If you are decorating your home, if you're doing something different, maybe doing renovations, like beautifying your home, okay? Um, so this is a great weekend to explore what's truly meaningful for you in your spiritual purpose. And again, a lot of it that has to do with personal relationships. Even, the fourth house is like your private, it's like your private side. So there's a lot here that is just going to inspire you. Remember, Neptune is in Aries. This is that visionary leader, that spiritual warrior archetype. So know your quest, know your vision, moving forward, connect with the divine within you, and go forth. And go forth. Remember, Saturn, yeah, he's here. He's here too. Very close to Neptune. And it's next week that we will have a Saturn Kazemi, with the Saturn conjuncting the sun. That's your ruler, Capricorn. You're really going to feel that. So, the sun conjunct Neptune, it will be the fire signs and the air signs that really, really feel that. If you have any planets 0 to 4 degrees in your natal chart, in any of the fire signs, wow, you're gonna love it. All right, let's get started. And also, just real quickly, over the weekend, because it's so powerful, that the Neptune Kazemi, the lower expressions would be delusion and illusion and fantasy and la la land. So you want to avoid those lower expressions. Just trust your vision and do the work that Saturn requires, because you'll definitely start feeling the Saturn Kazemi over the weekend. He's a little further in the week, but anyway, let's get started. Capricorn, let's see what's going on for you for March 16th to the 22nd, 15th to the 22nd. I think it's it's one of those days. Anyway, Capricorn, I do a traditional cult across spread. Offers the best overview, especially for a weekly reading. And if we need to pull clarifiers, we will. Capricorn, I love y'all. You're amazing. And it does feel like, you have a really big, like, megaphone right now. I would use it. Remember, we're leaving all that Pisces energy very soon. Saturn already left. Neptune left. Venus is already in Aries. So use it while you have it. All right. Let's see what's going on for you. Yeah, you're going to get that. You're good. Yeah. What a great week. What a great week for you, Capricorn. The other High Priestess. Yeah. All right. So, very nice. As you move into this week, what's really interesting is that it does look like that you're reflecting a lot. It does look like that you're, even with Mercury retrograde, right? Like reassessing things, because there are so many like unknown variables that are happening for you, and it may be throwing you off a little bit. And so you have the High Priestess. Two things here. She is saying, go within. Any answers you need, you have them inside you. Two, she is the guardian of the subconscious. I just talked about the subconscious, just unrooting things. That's what's going to help. That's what helps raise your frequency. And three, yeah, there is a sense of mystery with the High Priestess as well. And so, again, it really is saying a lot of answers are inside you. You just have to trust you. You have to trust your God. But there is a lot of protection here. As long as you're trusting your intuition, wow. You're the magician in the heart of your spread. So when I said it looks like something new's happening for you, something really big, especially, with the fact that we do have that new moon. But that new moon is in your third house. And so it is a good launch point, right? Like, I'm launching this, I'm announcing this, I'm making this happen. That's amazing. The magician, the first card in, the fool's journey, the hero's journey, or however you want to see it. But the magician, it's all about action, right? This is an active card. And so remember, here's the thing. Look at a hand of the sky, hand of the ground. As above, so below, right? It's taking everything, your dreams, everything that that you want, okay? Bringing it into your world, making it reality. Literally what I just said earlier. So really take those steps that you need to. And, he's got all tools, all elements, everything here, right? All the tools of tarot at his disposal. He can, like, whichever direction you want to go. You see the swords, the cups, right? The wand, the pentacle. This is amazing. There's something new happening here. You also have the 7 of Wands in your challenge area. I don't mind it. It looks like you're coming out of something. You could have been in a situation where you felt like you had to be a little bit defensive. You also may have felt that there were a lot of, and maybe there were some people that, wanted things that you had. Maybe people were really, affecting your energy as well. But this week, it just feels like, look at your spread. Like, you're coming out of that. It's like you can let your hair down. You can lower, your guard. And the other thing is, it does feel like for some of y'all, there may be someone that is, let's just say, there may not be joining you on your path forward. It may be something where, maybe you are not seeing eye to eye with someone, and it's just agreed upon. We're, this has been great. We've outgrown this, moving in a different direction. So, yeah, but otherwise, and it doesn't feel, like, it's a thing, like a bad thing. It just feels like this is just how life is, right? Mm. But that other person might put up a little bit of a fight, right? But yeah, the Eight of Wands, great, amazing. Eight of Wands is all about just swiftness. It's magic. It's things happening fast. You're processing a lot of things. You understand what you want. Wands wands are your passions, right? Wands have the spirit of fire. And so they're also very heavily associated with work and career and profession. And so yeah, you're in the right, mindset. You're in a place where um it just feels like you are really taking initiative this week to make things happen. Remember, this starts with you. It starts with you and creating your reality. Yeah, that Ace of Cups. And so, in the Ridier spread, it does feel like there's something that just really inspires you this week. And a lot of it, again, if you didn't take that time going within, you never would have saw it, right? And so it's taking some, just having those reflective moments and alone time, and just really harnessing there's that whatever's inside you that you're like, this is me. This is what the world needs to see. This is what my family needs to see. This is what needs to put out there. And this is what I know I'm meant to do. And that Ace of Cups this is the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail. And so it does feel like there's something big that's happening this week with the Magician, the Ace of Cups. I mean, look down your cross, right? And the Ace of Cups, it is a new opportunity. It's tears of joy, right? You see all the streams, right? And this is healing as well. But consider it more as like this intense, rapturous joy and elation. It's you being so emotionally moved because something's happening that's like a milestone essentially. And yes, it can be relationships. I mean, you do see the dove at the top. It can be, something new in terms of business. Again, you've got your seventh house activated, your third house activated. There's just so much happening for you this week. And like I said, it could even be a baby coming into the picture, right? There's that as well, but there's going to be change, but amazing change here. Look at this. You have the Queen of Wands in your future. And the Queen of Wands is the queen that is very passionate. Remember what I said about Wands. She is an entrepreneur. She is a businesswoman. She is a CEO, and people gravitate toward her. She radiates. And so it does look like a little bit of like ascension for you, promotion, or just, you being in that place where you're looked up to. Remember, I said earlier, like that thought leader energy, all the energy that's happening with you in your fourth house. It could even be, paternal, maternal side, just influential. Yeah. You're moving into a place that's very, you're going to be very influential. And she does have the powers of the sun. And this is very optimistic. And so you're really, really good here. You're really great. This is a great week for you. Let's get to your stuff. Capricorn, if you like this reading, it'd be great if you subscribe, share, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. This is big. You're going to get really busy starting in April, by the way. You're going to get pretty busy. And yeah, there's so much stuff happening in home and family. All right, let's see what yeah. You're really good. Oh my gosh. This is, by the way, your main spread. You do see that it's all, majors here, right? Major arcana, court cards, and then you have two pips and they're wands, right? So this is rare in itself. There's a lot of like, there's a big journey that's about to happen for you. Okay. You also have the Page of Cups. Um, Amazing. This is almost this affirmation that you are really just gonna, follow your bliss. It's like there is something inside you that's saying, okay, this is the time. There, I can't wait anymore. I'm gonna do this now, and go for it. Go for it. When you know, right? And the Page of Cups, yeah, that's also, it feels like more about you. Like, pages are messengers, right? It feels more you making an announcement rather than you receiving an announcement. But it's not to say you won't, but when he shows up, I really feel like it's more you, okay, with that Page of Cups. And that just, those pages bring in that fresh new energy. Yeah, the Nine of Swords in your external factors area. So, to a degree, this is just indicating there's this moment that you might have this week where you realize, like, I don't want to be in a place where someone has, power over me, forces are out of my control, right? It's also, there's a huge part of not doing something because you may regret it later, right? And so there's that Nine of Swords energy. The other thing is, yeah, it does feel like, remember I said there's someone that may not be on your journey moving forward. There may just, you may start your own business. And now like your colleagues in your team that you worked at in this, I don't know, corporate environment, they're, there's that. Like, you're not going to be working with them. So that does feel like the bigger thing here is there may need to be, a conversation. Diplomatic, of course. You do have that Three of Cups. You're looking, you're ready for this new beginning. You're ready. I really love that. And this is really great because of the Three of Cups, it's a celebration. Yeah. You see the three sisters here toasting each other. End of a harvest, beginning of a new one. They're very happy. And so, again, a lot of family energy. I wouldn't be surprised if there were like weddings in the mix and, what are they, like bachelor parties or whatever it is. This is your squad. And it's almost like you're waiting for this great news to arrive as well. But again, it just feels like a lot of y'all are excited to announce something, and then you have strength in your final outcome. So you're good. You're really good. Strength is, the biggest thing that's coming through, even though strength is, more about like that boldness, that inner courage, really, balance there too, right? Knowing to resist doing the things you shouldn't be doing. But it really feels like there is a sense of loyalty. Like, it feels like there's something strong around there, right? With the people within your world, okay? The people that you make company with, right? The last thing I'm going to point out is that you got the only two people in all of tarot who have the symbol of infinity over their heads. And so this is such an empowering week for you. And even with the strength card in your final outcome, yeah, that's empowerment. Like, you are turned into that leader. You've always been a leader. You're Capricorn. But it's you knowing that anything is possible. You knowing that there's infinite possibilities based on the actions that you take. And these are some really confident people that you have in your thread. Really, really confident. So I love this. You're good. Capricorn, you're great. Next week, again, a lot happening next week. Oh gosh. But you know about the Saturn. Okay, so we will have the Sun conjunct Saturn, your ruler. And again, that is in your fourth, but we'll talk about it next week. And then the second spread, the bonus spread, yes, we will. I'm going to do a spread just on the new moon. I want to isolate that new moon in Pisces and do a spread, but we'll talk about the minor grand trine, some other lunations. It is a great weekend for you with a moon in Taurus. That is your fifth house of joy and pleasure. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Tier 3 members, really good and legendary members. Thank you for being members. You know where to find the link. Anyone is welcome to join. If you like this reading, it'd be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. What is this big news? And yes, thank you for being patient with me as I have completely lost my voice. But I will see you next week. All right. Thanks so much, Capricorn. Bye-bye.